Are we
Sorry,
live?
Paul. I already clicked the button. Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's show. I am here with FBA Insiders, and we've got a show for you tonight. I am here back again with Tony and Paul, and welcome to my channel, Victoria. And they are bringing a whole bunch of tips and tricks for arbitrage for this Q4. So this will be very Q4 centric, and both with the retail arbitrage and the online arbitrage for Amazon. I'm going to assume mostly FBA, but I'm sure we'll hit some merchant fulfilled tips and tricks as well. So welcome back, guys. Do you guys want to just do a quick intro, maybe starting with Paul, then Tony, then Victoria?
Yeah, that sounds great. So my name is Paul Stoshi. I'm the founder of FBA Insiders. I've been selling on Amazon for about 6 years. I call myself the $300 kid because I started selling on Amazon with $300 about 6 years ago. And now I do all sorts of things Amazon related. One of them is FBA Insiders, where we help RA, OA, and wholesale Amazon sellers increase their business, basically wherever you're at in your business. So I live in Louisiana for what it's worth, and I have a wife and 2 kids. So go ahead, Tony.
Thanks, Paul. I'm Tony Barnes, and I help Paul run the retail arbitrage group that we have with FBA Insiders. This is going to be our 4th Q4, and we do well over $1 million in revenue right now. And I'm working a lot on outsourcing, and I love to share all of the knowledge that we've gained in the past 4 years. We started with books, and we did a little bit of OA, and then moved into retail arbitrage and just really loved it and really dove in. And I just love sharing the tips, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to help a lot of people with this webinar for this coming Q4.
My name is Victoria. I have been a leads finder for FBA Insiders for about a year now. And I absolutely love it. Love the group. Love the teaching and everything that I've learned as much as I've contributed, honestly. I've been in Amazon for, this will be my 3rd Q4, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
We love having you, Victoria.
I love being here.
Victoria is one of our superstars. So we do, just really quick, with FBA Insiders, we do retail arbitrage leads, and then we also do online arbitrage lists. And Victoria helps with both of those. She is our 2nd level reviewer for our OA lists, to where we basically get the OA leads reviewed multiple times, and then she's the last set of eyes until they go out to all the customers. So it allows us to just have really high quality leads, to where, yeah, everything's super tight and controlled. But yeah, so and Victoria's also produced a ton of content for the RA group, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, and how awesome that stuff is. So I'll hand it back over to you, Miss Lucy.
Can I ask a question? Excuse me.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? I was wondering how interactive this webinar is going to be. Do we have people that are going to be able to comment? How can people comment and chat with us as we're going through this?
If you are looking at StreamYard, your chat should be over on what's on my right. And so any of the chat going through will filter down there. It is a little bit laggy, so I have the YouTube channel site over here on my other screen. And we do have a few people watching right now. But if anybody has any comments, questions, suggestions, I would love for them to comment so that we can have them interact. And all of the links for Paul and his group are down below in the description area. If you want to check out, I highly encourage you to join the Facebook groups. If you're looking for an OA list, there's links down there as well that you can click on. I have, definitely been growing and expanding, and networking and all of those things will definitely help you grow to the next level for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Let's go ahead and jump in and chat about Q4. Each Q4 is different. This is I think my 5th one, my 5th or 6th one, and every single one is just radically different. From what does well to the stores that are open. This year, 2020, is obviously an anomaly with COVID and just getting out to the stores. We're not even certain what Black Friday is going to look like. Like, that used to be a huge thing for all of us. So Our stores even doing it with crowds. I've heard many are not. Tony, Victoria, what have y'all heard?
I've heard that they're just not doing the big Black Friday, and it's just going to be like a month-long string of deals just to cut down on the crowds. But I'm not really too sad about that, because every single Q4, this business just eats up my entire holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I'm not really sad about.
So you're getting some turkey dinner this Q4.
Yes, I will have Thanksgiving dinner.
That's good.
I think there was one year that I worked between Thursday, Thanksgiving, and Black Friday, the 48 hours. I shopped 41 of the 48 hours. Like, I took a nap. It was insane.
Oh my God.
So I'm not going to miss that.
But as much work as that is, there's a reason you did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you pound out so much money, and you make anywhere from 50 to 60% of your income or revenue in that window of time, potentially in this Q4 window. So what always happens in my business is we actually double whatever we did in the quarters 1, 2, and 3. We will do that same amount in Q4, just because the sales velocity is just so much larger. But as Tony's mentioning, you can overdo it a little bit and accidentally shop 41 hours straight.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you come one store and you figure out all the great profitable items from that one store, it's super easy just to run around to the other ones, pick up everything that you know is already good, and before you know it, you've cleaned out the entire town, and 2 days later.
Yeah, so. And that's a great segue. Just really quick about our group with Tony and Victoria, and we have other deal posters that are running around shopping. They are sharing the leads that they're finding in the stores that are profitable with you. So in our group, and I don't know if you want me to go ahead and share the screen now. I mean, I know it's kind of early on in our chat, or we can do it later on.
It's up to you. If it's a good fit, I think it would be fine.
Yeah, we could go ahead and we can just knock it out. Oh, hold on, I'm on the wrong window. Whoopsies. There we go. You were checking out my messenger. All right, go ahead. I'm on the right one now. All right, so in the retail arbitrage group that you can join, one of the biggest things that we offer are the deals and leads that we are finding in retail arbitrage stores. Okay, so there's Tony, Victoria, and 3 others that are scattered throughout the country that are putting these items in their cart, and then we are loading them to our website for you to view them whenever you walk into a store. So for instance, if you walked into a Big Lots, you could check this Big Lots button, and it will show you all of the leads for Big Lots. So you can see this long list of stores from Academy, Dick's Sporting Goods, Disney Outlet Stores, GameStop, Myers, Menards, Michaels, just throwing out a few of them, all the way down to World Market. So, so these are all the stores that we have posted leads for in the past. And this is what a lead looks like delivered. So you walk into your store, it's obviously going to look a little different on your phone. This is the desktop view, but you get the Amazon title, the store, the department, the ASIN, the photo of the item, and then this is what you would buy it for in the store, the price that you would sell it for on Amazon, your expected profit at the time that the deal was posted, and your ROI. So all of these leads were an item that was actually purchased by someone on our team, and they either they sent it into FBA more than likely, or maybe even they could have done merchant fulfill too. And then we also provide the Amazon link. So if there's something special about the lead, we will mention that. So like this is a 3-pack, and so this one they're sold separately. You're not going to find a 3-pack. Let's see a few other ones. So this Elmo ornament was clearance at Walgreens, and that's just a few different things. So for these bundles, 2-packs, multi-packs, that's a lot of things that we're posting. Yeah, so that's what the leads look like. And then if you wanted to even refine your search whenever you're in the store more, if you're in the clearance section, sporting goods section, whatever, you can sort by department. And if your parameters, like let's say you want to buy really high-priced items, you can do these parameters here. Or if you want lower-priced items, and then Amazon prices as well. So that's just a few samples. We can go ahead and stop the share here. And yeah, so that's what the leads look like. And so when Tony mentioned that she's out 41 hours, what's actually happening is we are sharing actively here, and then also at times in our Facebook group when things are just really hot and kicking, and it's like just jump on and grab these items. So Q4 is a very fast-paced time of year, which is why I wanted to talk about it so that you can maximize it. Being fed these leads can certainly help you increase your sales. So go ahead.
We have a question here from Gina that asks, is this would work for OA too, or just retail arbitrage?
Tony, Victoria, want to answer that?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, you can certainly take the leads, and I mean, they're from, widely national stores. I mean, so if it's a Walmart lead, I'm sure you could order it online. The direct leads are posted from purchases made in store. It doesn't mean it's not available online. It just means it was purchased in store. But I mean, you could always check and see. But there's also a fantastic OA list that Paula also does. So
Yeah. So go ahead, please.
I also just want to add that this year has really put curbside pickup to like a whole new level. I have been loving the curbside pickup. A lot of times, I'll see these leads or whatnot, get tips and whatnot, and it's so much easier to go into things like BrickSeek or just to the company's website and then do store pickup.
Yeah, absolutely. So the correct term or the term that we use is reverse sourcing. If you get an RA lead and then you want to buy it online, you're going to reverse source it online. So if you get an OA lead, you want to buy it in the store, same thing, right? So for Q4, one of the biggest things is speed and getting the items into FBA really quickly. And we'll talk about merchant fulfilling here in a minute because that's going to be super important this Q4. But for speed, what you can do is you can order it online, right? Like let's say you order 10 units. Well, those 10 units, you're either going to have to pay extra to get it shipped to you faster, or let's say it takes 5 to 7 days. Well, in that 5 to 7 day window, a lot can happen. So you can go ahead and do a curbside pickup and run around to your stores and pick up a lot of items. Merchants fulfill them right away, or you can do send them in FBA. But that's going to be the biggest thing. Go ahead, Tony.
Can we give some tips about our favorite curbside pickup stores? Is that like an allowed thing right now?
I think so. It's a new thing. I love it.
So Target last year, I did an incredible amount. I thought for sure I'm going to go in and pick up this order and they're going to kick me out of the store because obviously this amount of stuff is a reseller. I had like, what are those flatbed pallet thingies called?
Oh, yeah.
They had like piled up my stuff on this little flatbed cart roller they only use it in the back. But they didn't say anything. I ordered online and I did all my store pickups and I filled up my trailer, and I was a little nervous doing it, but took a picture and shared it to the group, and just sharing tips about what's possible. And you hear all these stories about Target not being reseller friendly, and well, that's true. They do have a policy posted by the customer service saying that they're not supposed to sell to resellers, but it really just depends on your manager and where you are, right?
Well, there's so many other things that you could say on why you're getting certain quantities, especially during Q4. They don't,
Right.
You don't know what you're doing. Are you doing a holiday party? Are you doing a bunch of kid gifts? Just keep it reasonable. You can't order 200 of something, but 10, 20 is usually doable.
Yeah, and definitely knowing your manager, Victoria, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your manager relationships a little bit. But that goes a very, very long way. I know we live in an e-commerce world, but relationships are vital to your success, especially during Q4. If you can build those relationships before Q4, very helpful. So Victoria, share a little bit about kind of your success with that.
I talk to everybody in the store. I am so chatty. I will talk to stockers. I will talk to cashiers. I will talk to managers. I will talk to absolutely everybody because, I mean, they know what's in the back, they know what's coming in, and I have zero fear about hearing the word no. I mean, it doesn't bother me, you know. And I have a strong belief that people want to say yes. People want to make other people happy. It's just human nature. So I will go into Walmarts and I will go into Targets as well. And look, I see you have this on clearance. You have 10 of them. You know, it's $15. You know, I was thinking maybe, you know, 10 for all 10 of them, or, you know, how bad do you want to get away with this? I have friends at, you know, Starbucks that will let me know, hey, we're making, you know, cups will come out, you know, September 22nd or something. They'll send me a text on September 15th. We're making our order, you know, how many are you going to want, you know, and I just have to swing by and pick them up, you know, and it's just about being kind. It's about when you find something that you don't like, don't just throw it anywhere. Put it back where you found it. I know Nike has put huge restrictions on resellers right now, and they fortunately are not putting this on me. I can still go into my local 2 Nike stores and do what I usually do there. You know, I mean, the no piles and the 3,000 restrictions, they're not applying to me. And that's because I've helped them pick up a bunch of trash out in front of their, you know, store one day. So you just make relationships, network, be kind. They know what you're doing and they want to sell their product. So just work with them and they will absolutely work with you.
One thing that
Yeah.
I'll do before I go shopping out for Q4, if I know it's going to be a long day, is I'll get a stack of $5 Starbucks gift cards. You know, I might spend, I don't know, I might get 15 to 20 of them, and I'll hand them out to people like that are helping me. And you would be shocked how far a $5 Starbucks gift card goes. You know, of helping you load your car, of them being, oh, wait, I saw this thing over here. I think you might like it. Whatever, you know, like they're helping you source. Like I remember one time I was at a Walmart and I had like an army of employees because, you know, Walmart stacks up for Black Friday. And I literally had, I think I had like 7 or 8 Walmart employees being like, we love what you're doing, man. This is, they thought it was the coolest thing ever. And they helped me load and everything. So anyways, it definitely goes a far way. Tony, were you about to say something?
Oh, I was just going to agree with Victoria's point about they already know what you're doing. There's no reason to lie or make up stories or hide or be nervous or scared, except maybe in Target. Yeah, because if you're just truthful and honest about what you're doing, people can help you. And they can't help you if you don't talk to them.
Yep.
And Paul, you mentioned something, you said the word speed, and I kid you not, the word speed was going through my head before we jumped on the webinar about Q4 tips. And I was like, man, it's just going to be all about speed this year. So I thought it was coincidental that you said that word.
It is quick. And if this is your first one, it's a fury. And I can't suggest enough, even if it's not our group, just get a cohort of 3 to 5 people that you can do this with. And you'll be shocked of how far it goes. And have a benevolent mindset of sharing what you know with others. And if you feel like you don't have anything to offer, I promise you do. Everybody does. And I've seen it time and time again where people end up, you know, they share something with one person and then that other person has 10 things that they can share with them. And that's, you know, tips at stores or leads or whatever. And the reality, like especially with retail arbitrage, you're typically limited on how much inventory you can grab. So if you have friends in other places, you know, scattered throughout the country, hey, run to your big lots and grab XYZ. They're flying off the shelves or whatever. I'd love to talk a little bit about merchant fulfilling because I feel like that's going to be really, really crucial. FBA has been lagging. They currently, if you're doing wholesale and if you're sending in really large quantities, and this might not be that big of a deal for arbitragers, but they are doing COVID limitations on what you can send in. So I've seen anywhere from, you know, 20 units, 50 units at the cap to I could send 200 and no more than 200 of an item. So if you have 1,000 of something, that hurts because you're sitting on those other items, right? So you have to be mindful about these limitations. But if you've got other items, you can merchant fulfill. I know Tony and Victoria do a ton of merchant fulfilling. I'd love for y'all to share a little bit about what your plans are this Q4. How are you going to prepare for that?
Go ahead, Victoria.
Okay. I at first was like super scared of merchant, and I only because it was like, oh my God, I have to get this out right away. You know, my Amazon account is, you know, fairly important, and you know, I was used to eBay where it's like, you know, if I forgot about it for 3 days, you know, it was whatever, you know, let's be honest. But I got a hang of it, and you know, I made charts on shipping. The most important thing I can say about merchant fulfilled is know your shipping costs and know what that's going to be, and have your shipping settings set appropriately. If you are going to sell to Puerto Rico or Alaska or Hawaii, you need to be prepared for the shipping to these places. It is not the same as shipping to the state next door, you know, so you need to really kind of comb through those. And we have tons of information, and we did a webinar on it, on how to set up shipping settings in the group. But you know your shipping settings. Be prepared, absolutely, with boxes. If you're going to use free priority boxes, order them now. They will not, if you start ordering them mid-October, beginning of November, if they get to you by Christmas, you will be lucky. I mean, they will be that far behind. This year is going to be super merchant fulfilled focused, and I think everybody is preparing now for it, and I would strongly recommend that. If you buy you know, boxes from Uline, that's who I buy for. I'm sure there's other, it's like Boxery and other things like that, or local stores, but you know, know what you sell, you know, and have a good guess, get your sizes together, get packing tape, get it in your house, get it ready, you know, I mean, be prepared to do this. Because I think with the lagging times of FBA, merchant fulfill is just going to be that much more important this year.
Yeah.
Well, and you want to have those supplies on hand, because even if you're not planning on it, you may come across something that you weren't even, you know, weren't planning on, and you want to take that opportunity. I know that you had to send in so many merchant fulfilled items within, was yesterday the cutoff, or is it in the next
So
2 weeks?
you had to have your first merchant fulfilled sale in anything, it didn't matter what it was, by September 1st in order to get qualified to do merchant fulfilled for toys and games. Because Amazon doesn't want you ruining, you know, little Johnny's Christmas because you can't ship on time.
Right.
That kind of thing.
There was another one too. There was so many orders. I'll pull it up while you're.
It's just that's just toys and games though, so you can send in, you know, you can merchant fulfill Christmas decorations and things like that. But what is it about the 25 orders?
I'm
I
pulling.
think it's October 14th. It's mid-October somewhere. It's between now and mid-October that you have to have 25 orders completed with a order defect rate less than 2%, maybe less than 1%, and a late shipment also that has some kind of qualification on it as well, to be able to sell toys merchant fulfilled through Q4. So if you still want to sell kitchen napkins, you know, you can, but to be able to sell toys, you have to fulfill these requirements by, I think it's mid-October.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you'd be surprised about what stuff actually will sell merchant fulfilled. It's not just toys and games. I was talking in my mastermind group to a couple that does a lot of replens, just groceries. And there's been problems with the buy box with FBA. Don't want to dig real deep into that right now. But the point of the story is they switched their replens, just plain Jane grocery stuff, from FBA over to merchant, and they're selling out like crazy. So merchant is a really good option, not just for toys and games, for anything.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Even the most random, you know, listings that, you know, if merchant just happens to be $5 less, or if everything, the two low FBAs seem to be in FC transfer, the buy box will be given to merchant at this point. It wasn't like that always. So, I mean, you can get the buy box as a merchant to sell, which is amazing, you know, because you can really make some money that way.
Yeah.
right? We didn't do too much merchant fulfill. Sorry, Paul. We didn't do too much prior to this year, but when COVID hit and we were selling non-essential items and we couldn't send in, we had to make an extreme pivot to merchant fulfill. And sure glad we did, because the sales that we got paid the down payment on our new house that we're in. And I just feel so blessed by Victoria and all the information that you shared in that webinar with the group. I couldn't have done it had I not learned from you. So it's a merchant fulfill is a big deal. You can really make a lot of money.
It is, and I think, you know, as like if you've always been an FBA seller and you're just going, I just don't want stuff laying around my house, like the shoes behind me. If you're just going like, I don't want stuff laying around my house, I don't want, you know, I like it to go in and out. I want to pass it through and just get it in and out. Maybe not do all of it. Like maybe do 50-50 or do 75% FBA and do 25% merchant fulfilled. But you know, just be selective about it. Like I just got a grocery order in, and there was an item. One of the things that I was noticing specifically were items that were out of stock. So I just immediately listed those. Like if I know that they're out of stock on Amazon, I know it's going to sell right away. Or if the prices are high enough, right? One of the biggest things that's going to happen though, more than likely, this is just my projection, my opinion, FBA, Amazon's going to get backed up on orders, and they're not going to be able to do the free 2-day Prime shipping. They're not going to, their fulfillment is going to lag. And they're going to reward merchant fulfilled sellers the buy box because they can fulfill faster than Amazon can.
Right. And even if you're not the cheapest seller, but you see that Prime delivery is a week out, 10 days out, sometimes even a month or more out, you see the closest delivery date you can get is that far out, you can put your price, you know, 10, 5, 10, however much more you can upcharge versus the FBA seller.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And still get sales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I found the thing on this website here, but it is, you need to have a good cancel, not a good, you don't want to cancel. Your cancellation rate must be no greater than 1.75. And then you must process at least 25 seller fulfilled orders between August 15th through October 14th. So we do have another month.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of tips related to the merchant fulfilled, but I wonder what you guys think is important to remember for merchant fulfilling. What are some important merchant tips? I know Victoria mentioned know your shipping costs. I would say know where your stuff is, label your shelves, and make sure that you can find that item when it sells.
Yes.
Yeah. It can get out of hand very quickly. You know, with 100 items, you know, especially if it's, you know, I would say clothes or, you know, it just depends on what it is. You know, if you need some racking, definitely. Like Tony, did y'all go out and get a bunch of racking for your stuff?
Yep, we just went to Lowe's or Walmart and bought those silver metal shelves that you put together, like the five shelf metal ones.
Yeah.
I would say inventory. I when I'm doing a lot of merchant fulfill, which I'm doing Halloween candy right now, knowing your inventory, because a lot of times I will list stuff at the store as it's in my cart and start selling it by the time I'm already at home. But I know that if I'm getting like 20, I'll just put in 5 as my inventory number until I get home and then square it away. But I've had times where I thought there was more bags or less bags and my inventory's been off, especially with grocery items.
And everyone will do this where you sell an item that you don't have. It's going to happen accidentally. Like it just, you know, I've done it. And one of the things that I've done to mitigate that is ideally you can run out to the store and snag whatever it is. If you can't find it, I will bite the bullet, buy it from an Amazon seller and ship it to the customer. You know, you have their address. So don't sacrifice that, like missing that sale or you know, just that bad feedback. Like an A to Z claim is the worst thing in the world. And that's why a lot of people avoid merchant fulfilling, because it is possible. So I made a $2,000 purchase for some items in my warehouse, and you know, just like for some rolling racks and stuff, and the guy never shipped them to me. And so this was the first time as an Amazon customer having to file an A to Z claim. And I remember speaking to Amazon customer service, and I was like, is this And they must have known I was a seller because of the questions I was asking. I was like, is this guy going to get shut down? And they're like, oh, yes, sir. He's off the platform right now. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I just got this guy suspended. Like, he's gone. But he didn't send me my stuff. So send people their stuff. Don't be, upset about it. It's going to happen. But, yeah.
Right. So my other tip for if you start your merchant fulfilled journey, take a few minutes and set up your templates to send responses to customers, because not only are you responsible for fulfilling the items, you're also responsible for the customer service, responding to the where's my item request, message requests and all this stuff. Anytime you get a question, instead of replying directly to the customer, write up a template and save it. So the next time that question comes in again, you have your template ready to go.
Yep.
Don't we have those in our group, Tony?
We do. Yeah, I think last time I checked, there was 13, but there may be quite a few more because I keep adding more. The more questions I get, the more templates I write, and I just throw them into the group for everyone.
Yeah. So one thing about our Q4 group is we're not the Q4 group that pops up. We are an annual retail arbitrage group. So we've been supplying leads this is our third Q4. So so about 3 years. And as we've been supplying those leads, we've also been just stockpiling content after content after content. One of which is templates, just for those messages. So if you don't want to write your own, we have those that comes with the group with your subscription. And then you also get a ton of other videos that we've recorded. And as I've looked at what is the value of this, it's upwards to probably $2,000 or more of content based off of just what you can do if you actually apply this information. And so, a few of the things that we offer: expert target source and secrets. So Victoria was very generous with her information and her time, and shared. I'm talking. I think the time we recorded it, you generated about 20 grand in profit just from Target.
Yeah, I do a lot of Target.
A lot of Target.
Yeah, I was going to interrupt you when you said the $2,000 based, taking action on the group, and I'm like, wait a minute.
No, there's
Victoria
way more.
did 20 grand. Yeah.
No, yeah. So
Target.
If you want to value, if we call it about profit, there's definitely if you have the capital to invest, you can make a boatload of money with the information that we share. And some of this stuff was recorded last year, earlier this year. But it's all still very applicable. We did another one that was Walmart Source and Secrets. Victoria also did that one. And again, just sharing these tips and tricks that literally take years to learn on your own from being in Walmart after Walmart after Walmart and just cracking the code. And I can promise right now she cracked the code. And again, you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars of profit, and everyone has a Walmart around them, so there's a lot to be applied there.
So everyone has a Walmart, which means there's lots and lots of resellers in Walmart.
That's right.
So the Walmart Sourcing Secrets definitely addresses that and shows you how you can get away from the crowd, away from the price tankers, because with those national clearances, you just got to expect that that's going to happen, and you got to set yourself apart. And Victoria really pulled back, all the secrets, shared all of her secrets from her business.
I do. I get so annoyed if I have to pay actual retail price for things. So, because I just feel like I shouldn't have to do that. So when I figure out how not to do that, I'm very liberal. I will show you, look, this is how I got 20% off of this at Target, who hates resellers, but they're going to give it to me anyways. And this is what I did. So go try it,
Absolutely. So we also offer how to master Kohl's with deal stacking, how to be a gift card ninja. If you don't know what a discounted gift card is, you are missing out. Discounted gift cards can make you thousands of dollars. I would say save, but make sounds way better, and that's true. They will make you boatloads and boatloads of money. And not to mention, it will also make you much more competitive. So discounted gift card is, let's say you go into Walmart with a gift card, but you bought it for a discount, 5% off, okay? So a 5% off discount, that means you get 5% less than everybody else, okay? And so you can drop lower on your prices, you can be more competitive. on Amazon, but then you also just get more margin. You have more room to play with. And man, they're so worth it. I think probably my favorite are, well, I'm not going to say the store because there's a lot of people watching this. You have to join our group to hear what I was about to say. Is that the little hook?
Man, gift cards are for almost any store. Any store you walk into, you can jump on, search for gift cards, and you're going to find them anywhere from, there's going to be some out there that really aren't worth your time, 1%, 2%, but sometimes you can get 11, 12, 13, 18% off at a retailer.
Yeah.
And man, you just made profit. No one can touch you. You can survive the price tanking, and
There was a season where I was buying 20% off for Marshalls. And that was a glorious time. No more.
Oh, that would be a glorious time.
I'm so sad. Marshalls and TJ Maxx, they stopped doing the gift cards altogether.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
On the gift card websites.
On the gift card sites.
Yeah.
I haven't checked in quite some time.
Yeah. So that's one
Bad
interesting,
news.
a good point that you bring up is our landscape is forever changing.
Oh.
As an Amazon seller, we always have to be willing to pivot left, like COVID, right? Pivot into merchant fulfilled. The landscape is always changing. I actually just saw something recently where they're ripping box tops off shoes at Marshalls now. I don't know if y'all have seen that yet, but it's like if you're a shoe seller and you need a pristine box like the ones that are behind me, like that can be really difficult. There's ways to mitigate around those things, but not everybody's willing to do that. So let's talk about some other goodies that we have in the group, and then also just some other great Q4 things. So cash flow. Let's talk about cash flow really quick.
Ooh, this fits in with the thing you were saying about speed.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead, Tony. I'll let you go ahead and share your.
I didn't mean to take over, but
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, the theme of speed, you could really apply that to your cash flow. Our first or second, it had to have been our second Q4. Felt like we really knew what we're doing. We got Ungated and quite a few more things, and we're able to sell more stuff. And I was having problems. There was too many items on the shelves. I didn't have enough money. Right. And so we decided to try out a factoring company, Payability. And before you go, paycheck loan people, I mean, they get trashed all the time. And I think it's because people don't understand what's really happening. So Payability buys your invoice from Amazon and they front you the money and they wait for Amazon to pay them. So they take a fee for the service. It's a service, right? But you're able to get a daily payout, daily payments on 80% of your sales. What'd you say?
What is this Payability?
Payability. There's others.
Yep.
There's others like Store Fund. You could probably just research Amazon factoring or something like that. It's very common in the trucking industry. Almost nobody will give you a job without factoring, typically. So it's common in other industries. It's not as bad as people think it is, but you really do have to be mindful of the expense. You have to make sure that you have enough profit in your company to be able to support the debt servicing. Or it's not debt, it's cash flow. So we did Payability, and we were able to. We just blasted off that year, and we did numbers that we wouldn't have been able to do having to wait for the 2 weeks for Amazon to pay us. So that was my spiel about speed and cash flow.
Yeah. Well, and it's vital. One of the things that I think about cash flow, definitely that is important. If you're getting paid out every 2 weeks, FBA is going to be slower than merchant fulfilled. So you can actually sell your items a lot quicker if you are going to do merchant fulfilled and get that money out faster. So instead of, let's say it takes you 7 to 10 days to get checked into Amazon, and then you're talking maybe another week or 2 weeks to sell your item, then you're talking about almost a month of time. So versus if you buy it merchant fulfilled, list it and sell it the next day, that's a much faster turnover. So your turn ratio of your inventory is another way to improve. So right now, I would say go in and look at your inventory. If you have anything that's over 60, 90 days old. And so my parameter is if it's over 90 days, we want to get out of it. We'll do coupons, we'll drop the price on things. We want to turn that cash flow over. So start stockpiling that cash now to really take advantage of those deals down the road. And then there's repricers. So everybody has their own that they kind of like, but if you don't have one, and Victoria's tip was if you have more than 100 ASINs, or if you're just tired of manually repricing. You know, I mean, I remember when I first started selling Amazon, before I took the plunge to get a repricer, that I would just like sit up at night and just like thumb away. And you know, a repricer does it for you every 5 to 15 minutes. Depending on the one that you go with. I use Be Cool. There's Aura. There's Informed. What do y'all have? There's the free one on Amazon.
I have Be Cool.
Be Cool. Yeah.
I have Informed.
Informed.
I'm using Informed too, but that's after trying Aura and lots of other ones. And we ran a 6-figure business just on Amazon's free repricer. So
yeah,
there's no reason you shouldn't have a repricer, even if you just use Amazon's.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just saves you a lot of time. So time is your most precious, you know, asset that you have. And
it really is.
Anything that you can do to shave, you know, I mean, you can reprice 5 to 10 hours a week easily if you've got a decent amount of ASINs. And you talk about cash flow, your repricer is going to increase your cash flow. It's going to save you time. It's well worth its weight, you know, and a lot of them are very affordable in the grand scheme of things and tools. But anytime I've ever bought a tool, what I would analyze is the amount of money that I'm going to pay for this tool per month. Let's say it's $50 a month. Is this going to make me that much or more with the time that it gives me back? And if the answer is yes, then I'll go for it. You know, even if it's a tool that's $100 a month or whatever, you can justify these things. Obviously, you have to be intentional. I'm not just going to take that time. I mean, you could buy your time back, right? And go sit in your backyard with your kids, or, you know, do more profitable activities that earn more money, you know, sourcing being the main one. So what other Q4 tips do we have here? Go ahead, Tony.
There's a comment about, it's kind of funny. We've all been there. His repricing software is called a mouse with manual clicking. So he's doing that manual repricing. And I just wonder, what the reasoning is, what the justification for not doing a repricer, or maybe you just set your price and that's what you want to get, and maybe you're merchant fulfilling, so you don't have storage fees and you can afford to wait. But I'm curious to know if there's a reason behind that, because maybe it's something we can help with, and maybe it's something other people are struggling with. So
absolutely,
if you care to share,
that would be awesome.
We'll wait for that.
While we're waiting for that, one of the, you know, another Q4 tip, talking about hot toys. And Victoria, I'd love for you to talk about this, because the tip is hold back hot toys for merchant fulfilling beginning to the middle of December. But you mentioned keep sending in staple items, kitchen items, limited edition groceries. So what's your experience with that? And because it's I feel like that's such a gamble. Like that's where my mind goes. Like you're just like throwing it all on black and just hoping for the best that it's going to increase. So how do you know that it's going to be a good win?
In seasons past, in Q4 past, you know, there's a certain point to where you can no longer send something into FBA and it's going to be there available for someone to buy and have it, you know, in their hand by Christmas or by December 25th, whatever holiday you are celebrating at that point. But I feel like this year is going to be even more important. And I usually say, you know, mid-December, I stop sending in and I list merchant, because at that point I can get it faster. I think this year is going to be earlier, just because of the significant delays in FBA. But here's the thing. So, you know, I mean, you're looking at the hot toys. The hot toys can be big toys. They can be, you know, the closer they get, one of two things will happen. They will go up in price because they're running out. Like if it was just a holiday edition of this doll or that doll, and, you know, whatever, for whatever reason, the price will go severely up, or it will go severely down. People are getting scared. They know their credit card bill is coming in 2 weeks and they got to pay that off, or they're going to pay this interest, and they don't want to be stuck with it on December 26th. So they tank it, you know, and if by holding it merchant, you have so much more autonomy on what happens with this item. Okay. So the first thing, you know, you can get it to the customer by Christmas, for whatever shipping method that you're proving. If you're charging them extra shipping, that's fine, but you can get it there by Christmas. Or if you're saying you can, you better be able to, but, or, you wait for the January gift card season when everybody is sold out, and you have that available to you, doing it that way. So there's a couple different reasons why to keep it, but I just find that mid-December, it's just not going to get checked in quick enough. And merchant is so good right now that, why would you not?
Yeah. One thing I love about merchant too, is that if everything goes south, you can always take it back to the store. Now,
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be like that nasty reseller that takes it back.
Right.
I do.
Again, bring your Starbucks gift cards, bring a pizza, bring something, because you need to apologize for what you're about to do.
Yeah.
If it's a lot of inventory, I'm not saying buy 100 off the shelf and then take 100 back. That's no, but like 5, whatever. But if maybe it's a higher priced item or something, if things don't do well, but again, don't be a jerk about it. And obviously needs to be within that window of taking it back to the store. But that is nicer, because if you do FBA, what happens with FBA, right? You send it in, you get it sent back. The removal takes forever. You have to pay the fee. But then you also, it'll get damaged, and then they might not take it back. So, so good stuff. Go ahead.
And when you take it back, spread the love. Don't take a cart full back to Target or a cart full back to Walmart. Take one to this Walmart and then maybe drive another 2 miles to the next Walmart and kind of take it there, and just, don't burn the store closest to you by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what happens to that relationship you just made with that manager that gave you a great deal on something?
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
As I was going to say, the one thing I love about Merchant Fulfilled is you can also sell it on other platforms too. Yes, it might be Amazon, but if it's really close to Christmas or whatever holiday, you could also do local. You could also do eBay and Mercari and all the other platforms out there, especially if you have multiples, and recoup your money instead of taking it back to the store.
Absolutely.
I noticed the person we were talking to about not having the repricer, doing the manual clicking, they have 600 SKUs. It sounds like it's books. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that would be maybe a little bit different. But, one thing about a repricer is you get a free trial, 14 days. Try it out. See if you like it. If you don't, cancel it. That's what I would suggest. For Q4 specifically, it is vital that you are on top of your pricing, because it is changing constantly, and you want to get that sale. Don't penny drop. Don't be that guy. Match the buy box. And one of the settings that I have in my repricer is that I actually increase to my maximum, to my ceiling price, and then it slowly drops back down to my floor if it needs to, but it slowly drops back down. But I've actually, there's been multiple times when, let's say I'm selling it at $14.99 and the floor or the ceiling is at, I don't know, $21.99. Well, it jumps up to that ceiling at nighttime, and then other people will jump up with me, and then we all start, selling, making $5, $6 more the next day on that same item. So definitely, suggest doing that. Because repricers, one thing they do is they get a bad rap, and people think that, it's just going to take the price. No, set your repricer right to where it doesn't do that. So go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. So you want to play a game real quick?
Okay.
I have 1,087 active SKUs. How many price changes do you think my repricer has done today in the past 24 hours?
50,000.
Not that many. Close. 27,703 price changes in the last 24 hours to keep my prices competitive with my competitors. So your competitor is using a repricer. You need to compete with the repricer by using a repricer. So
yeah, absolutely. Very good. Let's talk a little bit about how people can take advantage of the leads that we provide. Whether it's our leads or somebody else's leads. Again, this is kind of generic of any group, any list that you use. I've kind of been using the phrase "think outside the list," think outside the lead.
Like it.
It's something that I feel like it communicates it well. When you get a lead or a list of items, whether it be an OA list, which you have to be really careful with, and just experientially, because at .com anybody can go to. An RA lead is much different because you're talking about quantity variations. Not everybody has that store near them, and then also parameters, right? Not everybody's going to have the same parameters that you do, and they might say, "Oh, well, I only want something that's 100% ROI and higher. I'm not going to buy something that's 50%." Whereas I would buy something 50% ROI all day long. So with the RA group specifically, what we've done, and we've done a lot of education on this, there's a lot of videos on this, we've answered a million questions on this, and it's how do you use the lead properly, okay? So I'm just gonna go back to the website really quick, and let's just say there's a Barbie in Walmart, okay? There's a Barbie in Walmart, we posted the lead for it. Your job is not to go to Walmart to find that exact same Barbie. Your job is to go to Walmart and to scan the Barbie section and to title search the Barbie section if something's scanning and it doesn't pop up. Your job is also to go to Walmart and to find a manager to see, hey, are any of these clearance? Are they on sale? Do you have any in the back? I found this one, it's really good. I would love to buy a case of it. Whatever it is, that's your job. We are teaching you how we think when we go to stores. One of the things, this has happened with tons of customers that have come through our doors, where they were literally just walking by profit all day long and they never even knew it until they saw one lead that led them to that section of the store that showed them it was kind of like the gates opened up. And you're talking and it's not chump change. I mean, this is like we're paying people's mortgages with these types of, just like one lead can pay your mortgage. Like it can go far. And so that's how to use the lead properly. Another phrase I use is we give you fish and we teach you how to fish. Our goal mainly in the Q4 retail arbitrage group is to teach you how to fish. Even with the OA lists, we've done that same thing. We have a lot of educational videos and a Facebook group that you get into when you buy an OA list, where we teach you how to go and source OA leads. And so now with OA, it's a little bit different. You definitely need to think outside the list. If you're going to buy right off that list, a lot of people have been burned from OA lists because they don't work. I buy a list, it's going out to 40 or 50 people, and then all 40 or 50 people buy the same thing. When they saw the lead, there was only 2 sellers on it, and then in 2 weeks, there's 30 or 40 sellers on it. It happens all the time. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to buy right off the list, buy a small amount, 3, 5, 10, depending on the velocity of the item, and then look for the tertiary items. Look for the items that are similar. Maybe there's the same sale going on or something like that. And you can manually source. I've made thousands of dollars manually sourcing, no fancy tools, no tactical arbitrage, no OA X-ray, just back and forth to Amazon. And then again, what we were talking about earlier, kind of bring it full circle. Then you can see if there's some curbside pickup that you could do for these items, get it quicker, direction fulfill. It's all wrapped in there. Go ahead.
I just wanted to suggest out there, one of the things that I've been loving is I have other aspects of my life that I follow on Facebook and Instagram that help me so much with reselling. I'm signed up. I don't even know how I signed up, but like the special runs of candy and treats that are coming out by all the makers, and they'll be like, oh, this new limited edition, whatever flavor, is going to be released this fall. And I automatically know, okay, I need to look for that type of product to source in the grocery department or the toy or any of that things. If you see a whole bunch of other parents that are all loving whatever cartoon, if everybody's talking about Mulan and it's a great movie and everybody's loving it, that would be a good thing to take into the sourcing world. But if everybody's not liking it, then maybe stay away from it. I haven't heard if Mulan did well or not yet. Have you guys?
I haven't. It looks cool. Disney Plus has it for sale, but I'm not. I'm gonna wait until it's free. Personally,
I'm right there.
I agree with you completely. I am part of mom groups. I am part of Starbucks groups. I am part of candy groups. I am part of couple Nike groups. I mean, on my Facebook I don't even know if I have like any actual friends on Facebook anymore. I think it's just a marketing tool at this point where I just go to the different groups, do a quick scan. What do I need to go look for today? I mean, it's helpful. It's super helpful.
It is. It's like getting the ads catalog for the store. Like,
Yes.
Paper
Yes.
ads, it's the insider information of what everybody's implementing.
So I have a quick sidebar story if you have
Go ahead.
This last week I found the candy corn turkey dinner flavored limited edition.
That was a joke.
No, it's
Not
a
a
real
joke?
thing. It's a real thing.
So I was outsourcing candy and I'm like, oh my God, there it is. Because I know Bearded Picker did a video on it or whatnot. Anyhow, so I'd heard about it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to grab it. There's only like maybe 15 bags on the shelf. I'm going to go ahead and get it. Sold out in like 6 hours. I mean, it was gone. And so I was like, holy smokes. So I went back to find more and started talking to the people there, building those relations. And it is limited edition. It only went out to so many Walgreens. And by the time I went back the next day to look for more, they said I was about the third, fourth person to come in looking for it. And everybody was just clearing the shelves.
Yeah,
so,
it's gone now.
And the price went from, I was like at $13-ish. By the time I rechecked it a day later, it was at $16, $18. I mean, just nuts.
Yeah.
That is awesome. There's a question here. Gina's asking where she can find links to these groups and leads. You have them posted below?
Yeah, I do. I can pop in some of it here too into the chat for you.
We would love to have you join us in our group. It'd be wonderful.
Absolutely.
There was one other tip I was going to mention. We could talk about ungating if you want to.
Absolutely.
That's huge. As a new seller, the biggest frustration is scanning a profitable item and you can't sell it. Very, very frustrating. So what we've done in our group is we've actually created a list that's probably over 2,700 now, like 2,800 maybe, brands that you can get auto approved in.
Possibly.
Possibly, potentially, depends on your seller account, how new it is. It's different for all of us. But it was possible for someone at one point, so it could be possible for you. But we have a massive growing list of brands you can get auto approved in that comes with your membership to the group. And then you also, we also have a lot of ungating information. A lot of great videos done on getting ungated in specific toys, toy brands, clothing brands, all types of stuff. So we don't want to ask you about ungating.
Well, everybody knows the big toy websites. I'm sure I'm not revealing any kind of super secret when I tell you eedistribution.com or Shepher, SHEPHER.com. I think there's another one, Empire Toys. I'm not sure what the website is for that one. I've not used them. I've just heard of them. But it's tricky. You have to be able to identify an item that matches the correct brand that you're trying to request approval for. Because if it's not branded correctly, you're not going to get approved in the brand you think. And so all those little nuances and tricks, I walk you through step by step. I made quite a few different videos and put those in our retail arbitrage group. So you have access to all the information you need to be able to correctly order and request approval for lots of different toy brands. But that's totally something that you can just trial and error and figure out on your own. Just go to those websites and try to find the toys that you're trying to get ungated in, and you can totally try it out on your own. But if you want to skip all that learning curve, you can go to the videos that we've recorded for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
And just to further that, I mean, if you're looking to get certain brands before the holidays, do that now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it used to be that you could be approved in 24 hours. Now it's taking, I think my last approval was almost 10 days. And it wasn't that it was denied. It just took them that long to look at it, it was approved first time, but it's just, they're so backlogged with everything right now. So, I mean, if you're going to do it now.
Yeah.
That's the same with, though, the wholesalers. I know Shepherd and EE Distribution are the two main ones to get unlocked for, like Legos, Hasbro, the big names. But they've even come out and said that they don't contact them, don't not follow through with a purchase. They're getting really upset about that. People trying to order just for the invoice and then reneging on that, and they're getting busy. I mean, they've emailed out and they're putting in the orders for people, and so if you wait
As
until
they should, you know.
oh yeah, I agree. If you wait until October, November to try and get ungated for those big brands, they're busy. You may not get your product really fast. You'll get ungated at the end of January. I mean,
Right.
no.
Well, and we
It-
teased about, taking 5 or 10 items back to Target, and it's no big deal. Don't burn these big companies that can give you, ungating to, literally hundreds of brands. I mean, if you're going to take a $2, $3, $4 loss on 10 items, it's 30, $40. Don't burn a source for that. I mean, keep in good standings, be nice, take your product, sell it, keep it, do whatever you want to do with it. But, I mean, don't get an invoice and then cancel. I mean, it's just not good practice.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Exactly. You're so right. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get ungating. Now, some can be. I'm not saying that every item is, a $40 ungating, but Disney, I've seen it as low as $25. Your products can be a total of $25 to get approved in. And someone's saying that they're terrified to go for any approval. And I'd love to get some more details about that, because it's really as simple as ordering the product, maybe spending $25, $50, $60, waiting for your invoice, uploading it. And I've heard that sometimes, people recommend, fold up your receipt, mark it up, write the ASIN on there. But I would encourage you, as long as all of your information matches and everything is exactly as Amazon wants it, with the addresses on there and your business name on there, I have not had to doctor up my receipts. I've not had to annotate or do anything. I just submit it. All the information's there and I'm able to get approval. It's really not as scary as I think some make it out to be.
And there's nothing that you can do. Well, I say that. My experience is there's nothing that you can do that you're going to get in trouble with Amazon on. So if that's what you're concerned about, if you're concerned about your Amazon account, this is not an issue. I mean, you're just asking Amazon to give you permission to sell an item.
Yeah.
And ideally, if you don't get it, then you can hopefully get your money back out of those items.
I'll plan on selling it some way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you want the invoice, but when I'm looking for things like that, I'm looking for obviously something that's budget-friendly item that will get me approval, the ASIN and all the information matches up, but also flip over to eBay and make sure that it's something that you can at least get your money back, because that's all you're using it for, is just to get ungated.
Sure.
You're not really going to find products that are going to be super profitable for the ungating process. It's not impossible, but it's not practical.
Yeah, definitely. So Gina said she's a new seller, no LLC or EIN, reseller license. I think those are needed to buy from the distributors. I think that is correct. And I would highly suggest creating that LLC, getting that EIN. Sales tax, I'm not sure where you live, you don't need to say, but there's very few states that you get free sales tax in. My sales tax is 9.75%. And you better believe that I do everything I can to not pay sales tax. Because, not to mention, I'm not as competitive on Amazon if I'm paying sales tax. But the other kicker is it's a lot of money, right? So for every $100 I spend, I'm spending $10 roughly, on tax. So it's not our job as the reseller to pay that sales tax, because Amazon's collecting it as well on their website for us now. So technically the state is getting doubled up. Yeah, 8.875. Definitely it is worth every penny to go and open up that LLC and get it out. So
So it cost us $100 in Oklahoma for our LLC. I think the EIN is free, and then our reseller certificate was like $25. So for possibly less than $150, you are set up
Yeah.
As an official business, you don't have to pay sales tax in most stores. So
Yeah.
worth it. And it doesn't take that long.
Yep, it's perfect. No, going to Walmart and getting registered, you get your little card that they give you. It is well worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Especially when you're spending thousands of dollars, like it starts to really add up, for sure. So awesome. What a wonderful.
Does anybody, yeah, great interaction. I love it. Does anybody have any more speed tips? The ones that I have in my mind was the moment I upgraded my phone to a really good fast phone, that made such a huge difference in the speed of my scanning and how quickly I'm able to spend money and work in the store. Upgrading my phone was a game changer for me.
Drive quickly. No,
No.
I'm teasing.
He didn't say that.
No, definitely your device for sure. And if you're really scanning a ton, Tony, I think you posted a photo of your little scanner, right?
Yeah.
What is it called again?
It's called a Ring, RING, Ring scanner. And it is a little tiny Bluetooth barcode scanner that goes, it has a Velcro loop, and I put it on the top of my finger, and I click the button with my thumb, and it scans the barcode and transmits it to whatever app I'm using. So it's just like using the camera to read the barcode, except for I'm not having to wait for my camera to load on my phone. It's not draining my battery. I just click, it scans. It's so much faster. And, even a half of a second faster per scan makes a big difference, in a full day, epic scanning sourcing trip.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something I know we've talked a lot about, preparation for those long days, right? Like not just going out with nothing, like have an extra battery pack to charge your phone, water, snacks, whatever, get ready for all that stuff. So I really hope all of you just have a wonderful Q4. Like I hope it exceeds your wildest dreams. And I really believe, and this is me being a little biased, but I've seen it happen time and time again. I really believe that if you join our group, we will help you do that, for sure. Because we can just drastically pass up whatever it is that you've done in the past. And I can say that because we have people in our group that are selling over $1 million a year just doing retail arbitrage. And they're very willing to share all that information. And so whether you just want to make an extra $1,000 this Q4, or you want to make $50,000 in profit this Q4, we're all in between, and doing those things. And so we'd be happy to help you out with that, whether it be an OA list, a Q4, the RA group. And again, we don't shut down after Q4. As I mentioned before, we keep going into the new year. We don't stop. So we're not going anywhere. We've been around for 3 years, and we're happy to help. So reach out to Reseller Mom if you have any questions. She can pass them on to us if she needs to, but we're here to help.
Yes, I do have to say that the group is filled with a lot of knowledge and nice, helpful people. It definitely brings a sense where you could ask a question that maybe you don't know where to ask, or we always have those weird questions. You're like, who do you ask this to? You need a group where you're safe, where you can ask those types of questions and get real down to earth answers, and not feel like you're going to be laughed at or mocked at, or any fear in that avenue. You need a group that you can go to for sure.
I feel like we've definitely attracted a great bunch of people, but we've never had to deal with like the criticism or people laughing or poking fun or whatever. But if we ever did, I would be on them like white on rice. It would be out of the group right away. Like, we are a very encouraging, uplifting, like wherever you are, we want to help you. We want to be a safe space. And so if you have a question, you're like, oh, this is dumb. Like, no, there is no dumb question. Like, if you have a question and you're really curious about it, like, we're here to help. And I promise you're probably not the first one with that question. And so, many entrepreneurs, many of us are just islands, right? We're just walking alone, doing this entrepreneurial thing. it is very important to have a community that you can lean on at any given point. So we're here to help with that. And what's really neat that we've seen happen time and time again is that people meet in the group, and then they kind of form even their own little side. Like, yes, we're all sharing deals and a lot of public information in a smaller group. But if you have like 3 to 5 other sellers where you're very intimate with them and y'all are sharing more, things that you're just not going to want to share with 50 or 100 people, that goes very, very far. Like Tony mentioned, she's in a mastermind. I do a lot of things like that as well. And yeah, very helpful. So thank you so much for having us on tonight. Yeah, if there's anything else.
American Prayer asked a question. I just answered it via typing. But for all of these stores that you're getting reseller cards for, each store is going to be different on how to get that card. Walmart, you go into the customer center, the service center with your paperwork. Office Depot Staples is online. Harbor Freight is online. Walgreens, you take your reseller permit with you. Same with TJ Maxx, Marshalls. Ross doesn't take it. Kohl's. So each store is different. You're going to have to either ask or just search that store and then reseller permit and see what their policy is. It's good to know all the stores' policies with everything, especially going into Q4. Know if they have limits. Know if clearing the shelf is okay, especially during COVID. We still have limits on toilet paper, soap, cleaning supplies here in some of the stores. Some of the stores don't care. Some of the stores do have limits.
So I would say your best approach is take your stuff up there before they start scanning. Say, this is tax exempt. Don't say, do you take tax exempt? Because the cashier may be lazy. They may not know how. They may just say, no, we don't, because they've never done it and they don't want to ask. So say, this is tax exempt. Do you need my form? You need my paper now or later is pretty much what I say.
Mm-hmm. That is exactly right. Exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Thank you guys so much for coming on here, and it's get me excited for Q4. Mm-hmm. I feel like I need some energy because this whole year has been crazy. I need all the excitement or good excitement.
Positivity, yeah. Definitely. You need that for sure. If I could just thank you so much, Lucy and Paul. I really appreciated what you guys were saying as far as, in the group we share and we give. And some people are like, why would you do that? Why? I mean, this has got to be a scam or whatever. Why would you give stuff? This stuff is going to tank or whatever. And I know Victoria would agree with me. Once you get to a certain level, you realize just how much space there is, how many deals there are, and how little of a fish you actually are in a great big pond. And if you could just have a mindset of gratitude and gratefulness and abundance, and you'll find the deals. Like if you're just starting out, try to get your mindset into abundance, and that there's gold in the store. You just have to find it. Like you just have to look enough, you just have to scan enough, just have grit and just find it. And once you start finding things and sharing with other people, you will grow your sphere of influence, and the people that people will just start giving back to you. And that's really what the group is all about. We have so many people in, and I think I probably might post in there more than anyone else does, but it's not just my group, it's everybody's group. Everybody's giving tips and leads and sharing information. And it's just, if I could give it one word, it's a group of abundance. And I just appreciate all of you guys for being part of it with me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tony. Yeah. And one thing about the group that you'll notice that if you join, there's a decent number of people in there, many of which are honorary members. There's a good number of people that they've either paid to be in there at one point and then we asked them to stay in, or they've just stayed in, or we asked them to be in there in general to help. And these are 7-figure RA sellers, whether they built, some of them have built software tools that we're all very familiar with, but they're just very benevolent people that want to help. And you would be shocked. You would be someone that you're talking to would at any given point be able to charge you, I don't know, $500 to $1,000 an hour for their time. But they're sitting there on Facebook telling you golden advice. And that's the circles of the people that we have in this group that are very willing to share. You ask this question, they'll give you an elaborate answer or whatever. So the gratitude is vital. So awesome.
Yes. Well, thank you again for everybody coming, and thank you for everybody in the chat. We do love all the questions and interaction, and we are here
Yeah,
to
it was
help
fun.
everybody. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, and have an amazing night. I'm going to go ahead and end here and then say good night to you guys after I end the YouTube here. So just stay put.
Thank you again.